All right, I'm here with the man himself. I got Paul Allender from Cradle of Filth. Man, how are you doing today?
Good, man. I'm good. Yeah, excellent. I've just given a couple of guitar lessons and taken time to give myself to you.
Awesome, man. You guys, you just got back from overseas in Europe not too long ago, closing out the year over there, I think. How do things go over there, man?
It's good, you know. The new album live's going down well. Especially like the way the new album's got the whole sort of I don't know, old school punky vibe to it now. The tracks go across really well live, and it certainly gets the crowd going for sure, which is really good.
Awesome. Yeah, I was listening to the new album actually just again not too long ago, right before you called. The Manticore and Other Horrors came out right before Halloween, 10th studio album. And the whole album itself is amazing. Just right up there with every other Cradle album in my mind. But it had a really cool I guess concept and idea behind the album. Can you tell me a little bit about just the thought process and concept of the album itself?
We were to really just generally go over it. We didn't want to do another concept album, you know, because we started getting known for putting out concept albums, and so we wanted to break that trend. I mean, because we're pretty much like the sort of band, once people start getting familiar with something that we do, we change it. Because we don't want anyone to go, oh, it's another Cradle album, oh, it's just that band again, or it's that band, do you know what I mean?
Right.
So we kind of try and kind of mix it up and swap it around a bit. And so we decided to just write a collection of songs for this album, where they don't really follow on from one another or anything like that. So each track's got its own story as such, or theme. Well, more theme than story, you know, because the songs aren't really particularly about anything in general. It's just mainly I mean, Dan wrote about monsters and personal demons and inner fears and all this stuff. So it's just an album with a collection of really good rock tracks on it, which was, I mean, to be honest, on the aspect of the songwriting side of things, we don't really. Even when it's a concept album, all the concepts put on after everything's written. So on the music side of things, we don't really sort of write stuff purposely to follow one from another, because otherwise it would just be a nightmare and you'll never get anything done. You know, I know exactly. Yes, but after that, that's when the ideas come for concepts and stuff. But this time round, we didn't want to do that. Plus, also, we wanted to make the songs shorter and actually put instead of filling up a CD with loads of material. I mean, we've had a few people after the last few albums say, oh, this is good, but it's so long. And then I was like, so we thought, right, so we chopped it right the way back again, you know, for this one, and made the song shorter and mixed it up a bit and stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed is, like you just said, some of the songs are shorter. A lot of the songs you've done in the past, you got 6-minute songs, 7-minute songs, and 9-minute songs. I was listening to The Death of Love from Godspeed on the Devil's Thunder a little bit ago today as well. And that song itself is really long. It's also one of my personal favorites that you guys have done. But yeah, you guys, it seemed like you went in a bit of a different direction, sound-wise as well on this one. It's also a bit darker, I think, than some of the previous work is. How much time did you guys spend on this album compared to others?
Actually, to be honest, myself and the drummer, we wrote this album between us. And so we we spent 7 months writing the album. That's every day, you know, coming up with ideas, kind of best parts, you know, as you usually do. And then everything went on, from that, everything went on to Dan to write his lyrics to. But actually, to be honest, the writing process on this album has been longer than previous albums, because we really wanted to make a point of doing something different. You know, I wanted to bring back the whole old school feel to it. And also another reason why it almost feels different and sounds different is because in the studio this time round, instead of what every other band does, copies and pastes all the time, it seems to be especially in this sort of music, it seems to be a real trend to do the whole Pro Tools copy paste thing there. That'll do. But this time now, I decided I wanted to switch it up a bit, and then me and Martin just played it all in live. So just to give it a more band organic feel. I mean, to be honest, I wanted to actually try and do it back on tape again and get rid of the whole digital thing.
Nice.
But we couldn't find a studio that was prepared to use their tape machine. So we couldn't find a studio with a tape machine, so it was like, oh, for fuck's sake, really. So I don't know. If we do, say next one, perhaps I really, really want to find somewhere with a tape machine, and so we can do it all on tape.
That would be really cool. I heard that I actually heard a story that the upcoming Black Sabbath album, they did that, or on some of the tracks they did that, where they used a tape machine on some of it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Bands go back to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean.
Yeah.
No, for sure. It's really, really good. I mean, I want to do the whole album, the whole lot on tape. You know, I don't want to touch Pro Tools or anything digital. You know, I just want it all played in, because you get so much of a really cool feel to it and such a warm sound to it, and plugins just don't do it. So I'd rather go right back to what we used to do really early 90s when we done the first Cradle album, you know, and then just do it like that. Just put it all on tape, completely skip Pro Tools out of the way, make it sound really, really old school. That would be so much fun. It would be ridiculous.
That would be awesome. Speaking about recording back in the early 90s, when a band like you guys, you've been around for a while, since the early 90s. It's been 20 years now, is that right?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Man, when you've been around as long as Cradle has, it's how hard does it get over the years to reinvent yourself and do something different like you did on this album?
You just got to really sit down and take a look at yourself, you know. I mean, we took a few months off before writing this album, and I was thinking, because I was getting really bored of the previous albums before this new one, and it's I was thinking it's good, but it just sounds like a freaking Cradle of Filth album, you know, and it just sounds like that, and there was nothing really that made me spark me going, oh my god, that sounds amazing. You know, and then so I sat down and thought about it, and I was actually listening to Principle and the bands around at the time when we did Principle, and I was kind of reflecting on, when we did this, we did that. And all of a sudden, I got this light bulb, and I was like, fuck, we don't do this punk influence stuff anymore. We don't do the hardcore type riffs that we used to do way back in the day, way back in the day, you know? Right. And so I thought about it, and started messing around with some ideas, and Martin, the drummer, was like, fuck yeah, this is definitely the way we've got to go. And the producer as well, Scott Atkins, who recorded the album, he was like, yeah, this is definitely the way we have to go. Like this, so that's the way Manticore came out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, just making sure, just trying to keep it a bit different. Obviously, it still sounds like Cradle because, to say, it's all of us which are on it. But it's mixed up enough where you can... where it sounds different enough, but it still sounds like us, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. This was also one of the first albums you've done as a core, as a three-piece band, rather than having more members. What was the process like working as a three-piece this time around?
Actually, that's only by actually, all the previous albums are all done by three-piece as well.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, that's all right. There's one particular album that was there was a few more people involved, but yeah, literally after pretty much all the albums prior, a few albums ago before this one, it's usually just me and the drummer.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the process is the same as all the writing. You know, it's 9 times out of 10, usually the ideas and stuff come generate from me to start off with, and then we'll basically play it in, and I'll come up with riff ideas. Then I'll arrange it in certain ways, and then send it off to the drummer. He'll send it back to me. We'll try other stuff. If anybody else has got any other ideas, it gets put in the pot, because everything runs through my studio. On the whole writing process is the main hub is my studio.
Okay.
You know, so. Everybody sends me their stuff, and I'll put it in, rearrange stuff, check stuff around, etc., etc. And just keeps evolving like that until eventually we come up with the whole song. They think, right, we can't do any more in this, then it gets sent off for vocals. It gets sent off, and then Dan starts writing lyrics for it. You know, unfortunately, we're as a band, You get some bands which work really, really well working together in the studio, and then or a rehearsal room. But unfortunately, we're one of those bands that really doesn't help out. We usually end up just looking at the floor going, I don't know what the fuck to play. You know what I mean? So what we have to do, so it has to be down to one person to initiate it all the time, and just that happens to be me.
Nice. It seems like Cradle has a really good habit of releasing a new album maybe every 2 years or so. Darkly came out in 2010. Godspeed came out 2008. Is that something that's planned, or is it just kind of spur of the moment, or maybe it's like you're talking, it's like, oh man, we're getting close to. It's about time to do a new album. It's been about 2 years or so. How does that come about?
That's just the way it happens, to be honest. So you end up recording, writing an album, recording it, and then usually our stuff comes out sort of end of the year after we recorded it, so October time. By the time we've come around and done all the shows and stuff and the touring, which therefore follow on the following year, and then by the time we come around to write again, it just so happens that it's going to be released 2 years later. It's just the way it falls into place.
Okay.
It's just I call it Groundhog Year. It's fucking year in, year out, exactly the same. There's nothing different.
It's just like that movie.
Yeah, it's just like that movie, but not a day, but a year. So if you take a whole year, then I know guaranteed the next year, it's going to be like this. I can tell you 3 years from now exactly what's going to happen the following years.
Man, that's crazy. It seems like the way it's worked is, and it's almost like perfect timing, is the albums always seem to come out right around Halloween time, which it just seems perfect to me, I think.
Oh no, definitely, especially with the sort of band that we are. Oh yeah, totally does. Yeah, totally does.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Starting February 22nd, you're going to be starting the U.S. tour this time around. Starts in New York City, which I think is the perfect place to start a U.S. tour, in New York City of all places.
Yep.
How pumped are you guys to bring the Manticore and Other Horrors and all the new material over to the States this time around and play it for the U.S. fans over here?
Sorry, so that last bit again, you broke up.
Oh, how excited, how amped and pumped are you guys to bring, because you were overseas just recently, but to bring the new material over here to the States, to the U.S. fans?
Yeah, how excited is, we can't wait, to be honest. It's just the fact that the way Manticore's been done, and been the way it feels, I wrote Manticore, really for the sole purpose of playing live. Because all the rest that I've written on that, it was all visualised what it would go down like live. And knowing the nature of the band and the energy we put across live, it's a live album. It's an album to be played live. So we're super hyped about playing it live and stuff, And this time around, we're not bringing any of the frills and spills with us. This time around, it's just going to be us with the projector screens and us on stage playing live. Because in the past we've done that to death, And this is the reason I'm saying we're trying to mix things up a bit and shake things around a bit, so people don't go, oh yeah, it's good, but it's another Cradle because they did this and they did that. So this time around for this album, we've completely mixed up the songwriting, the music sounds, and now also the live stuff. And we did the whole of Europe completely stripped backstage show, nothing going on, and kids loved it, absolutely loved it. So it definitely works.
Cool. Yeah, you just touched on it again, just changing almost everything up this time around. After being around as long as you guys have, I think it's very important to do that. Especially when you've got an album as good as this new album is. How, over the years, has it gotten harder to choose a set list for a show or for an entire tour? Because, like you just said, you guys are changing everything up this time around. Are you going to maybe bring out some songs you haven't played in a while, or maybe focus on a lot of new material?
I Yeah, there's a couple we brought out I haven't played in a while. And to be honest, it's an absolute nightmare trying to come up with a set list for our band. Because we've got so many albums out now, and like lots of people, like so many tracks, we've got to try and put in like all the tracks that everybody likes, you know. And especially when we play like smaller clubs, we only get like 75 minutes because of curfew. It's impossible. You know what I mean? So yeah, we've got a set list, and we've got older stuff we're playing now. You know, off the first album, we're playing like Dream Walls in the Snow.
Nice.
That's good. Summer Dying Fast was playing as well. That we've not really played before. We're doing Enchanted Kingdom as well. We're playing live. We've not really done before.
Nice.
But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff we've not really sort of like kind of done before, which is like really good. But also like now because we got accepted to go and play China. This is the first time. Yeah, that's really cool. But we've been told we've got to have a 2-hour set, and we've never done 2 hours before. That's going to fucking kill us.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, I've got memos this morning going, we want 2 hours minimum. What?
That's like
you can get up on stage and do it then.
I don't even think Metallica plays 2 hours. It's crazy.
I know, we want 2 hours. Fucking 2 hours. Yeah, no, that's going to be hard. But, you know, that's what we want, that's what they want. But, yeah, we've never done a 2 hour set before. Wow. So it's going to be interesting. We've done an hour and a half before, and that felt long enough.
Right. That's crazy. Speaking of that, going back overseas, in June you're going to be playing some overseas festivals, Hellfest in Finland, which is always a great lineup and a great show. Do you prefer the festivals, or do you prefer maybe more the indoor club scene, just normal concert bills, or do you enjoy the festival?
Yeah, I enjoy the festivals, but for live, I prefer playing to like 200-300 people.
Okay.
In small clubs. That's what I prefer. It's a lot more intimate, and it's much better to have like sort of like 200-300 people who are really like into it, really, really going for it, than like playing in front of 15,000 who don't really who are into it, but like just want to see loads of other bands as well.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's better that way. I remember in Europe we played in, I can't remember, I think it was Italy, and we played. There was only like, I don't know, like, so there was about like 300-400 people in there, which was like it was a smaller club gig that we did. We were doing everything stripped back, and yeah, and like every single person in there, they all sang the guitar melody lines, and I'd much rather have that than playing in front of like 15,000 and people just like watching you and not doing anything.
True. Yeah, I mean,
you know.
There's so many bands on festival lineups that it's a great atmosphere, but like you said, you've also got fans that are there for like maybe one certain band, and it's kind of a mixed atmosphere too. So it's definitely different. You can't really explain.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's different.
Yeah,
it's definitely different.
Yeah, you can't explain it unless you've actually been there and seen it. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe any U.S. festivals this summer you guys are maybe doing?
No, not what I've been told. Mostly just the European ones. You know, but you might see me in London because I've got like another band set up over here in the States. So, and then I'm hoping stuff's going to be released for that at the end of the year. Fingers crossed, anyhow. But you know the way things go usually. But
right.
You know, so I want to do is set it up and hope. And then the idea is to get the album out and hit the festivals like next year.
Awesome.
You know, so because I've moved to the States now, so it's a case of like we'll go and hit all the American festivals.
Awesome.
Which will be good.
Awesome, man. Well, I really want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. It's been great. I've been looking forward to it for a while now. Thank you so much. It's been awesome.
Absolute pleasure, my friend. Pleasure. It was a great interview. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
And if there's anything you need, contact like Brian, or you've got my number now. Contact me directly, and I'll help you out.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it.
No worries, dude. You take care of yourself.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Bye-bye.